Hey, I'm Shay, and this is Hey Shay. Come talk to me. Alright, so you here because you read the title already. But if you did not read the title, you just clicked on it, or you just happened to even click on it by mistake, I want to let you know that today we're going to be talking about change and specifically fear of change, and also not only just fear of change, but what occurs when you get over that fear of change and what happens when you do not change. What happens when you, like I said, do actually get over that fear, or when you don't get over the fear but you decide to just keep pushing forward. Let's get into the video. Let's get into this episode. First of all, starting off, I just want to say I can only speak from what my knowledge and opinion. The only law is universe. Now, starting out here, I just want to talk about the fear of change, and I want to just speak on myself, right? Because anytime I come up here and talk about anything, it's me actually talking about it, because either one, I have actually experienced it myself. Two, I know somebody who has experienced it or is experiencing it now, and so forth and so on. So, in some way, I have a connection to it, right? Now, fear of change is one thing that I know for sure. I was always stuck in a space of when something changed, it's always bad. And so I was expecting to have a change that was going to change my life for the worse and not for the better. And most times when it did, it's because I put myself in that position. Like I said, from one, just thinking about it. Two, from just the fact that I went in a direction that caused destruction, you know. Now, I have welcomed change into my life now, of course, and when I started to do that, I'm telling you, a whole new life, a whole new outlook on life, a whole new respect for life, a whole new love for people, for change, for just cleansing not only my own energy, but my entire life, like from material things to people. Like I am a Capricorn um, at its core when it comes to being loyal by default, by just staying in places and spaces that really don't serve me, but either I was taught that this I should have a connection with, or I've grown to have an attachment with, or some type of bond with the individual or the thing or whatever it is. No matter how I was introduced to it, how I was introduced to the person, whether I've known them all my life or whether it's something that I've been doing for most of my life, regardless of whatever it is. I'm trying to make sure I don't have anything in my nose, because I had a little piece of fabric on my nose a few minutes ago, and I'm like, don't do that. But yeah, so when it comes to that fear of change, like I said, for myself, I have known to be loyal to things by default, have attachment to things by default, and I had to just learn how to break away from those things. And I'm just gonna talk about a few things for myself in my own life, just so we can touch bases. You never know who you know needs to hear what they need to hear in the moment in which they are hearing it, right? So for me, I'm just gonna allow myself to be led to talk about whichever change I want to talk about. But I'll just start with something simple, right? Now, I used to be a heavy drinker, right? And I got introduced to alcohol a long time ago. How I got introduced really don't matter. Um, but I can say this: please stop. Stop giving these kids beer and talk about it's gonna kill the worms, okay? Stop doing that. That's the most toxic thing you can do. Don't do it, Because what you don't know is a lot of times you can be introducing these kids to alcohol, right? And at the same token, you could be turning them completely away from alcohol. But you never know if you don't already know. I'm gonna say that you don't already know that child's behavior. Like you don't know if this is a child that has the addictive type of behavior. You know where they get a hold of things and they latch on when they're introduced to something. So stop doing that, please. If you never heard that, maybe it's just something that you do in the South. I highly doubt it, but you know, I know that's something that's very common in the South for sure. So alcohol, right? I used to drink a lot, but I can't just blame, like I said, how I got introduced. That's why I said it really don't matter, because it's just about my personality and my type of just who I am, right? So for me, I had an attachment to it. Then once I started to, when I got introduced into smoking, I preferred to not necessarily even smoke marijuana, but I preferred to indulge in using marijuana over the alcohol, because what would happen is for the alcohol with me, it would bring out my lower nature, bring out things in me that I would not be proud of in my just natural state. And with that being said, that has caused so many different problems, but that same thing is the same thing that triggered a major change in my life. And that was the beginning of my spiritual awakening for myself. And after that moment happened to me, it was like it's no more. It's like it's not happening anymore. I'm not gonna allow myself to be that individual. And then it also woke me up to just thinking about all of the other things, people, and energies that I was just holding on to, memories, thoughts, just so much that I was holding on to because I wanted more. I wanted to do more with my life. I always saw myself doing more things. I always imagined so many more um, just adventures and trials and so much more love, so much more passion, so much more heartfelt things, I could be doing in my lifetime. And when you are around things for so long, it becomes the norm. And even if you do want to get out of it, sometimes if you're around it so much, it's hard to like block it out and just box out, right? So for me, it was the alcohol. I grew an attachment to alcohol. Of course, when you going to get a job, having marijuana in your system, of course, there's things that you could do and all of that. But if you somebody who like me, nobody really likes having to go through all of that and do all this and do all that just to. So that was one thing that, like I said, if I couldn't smoke, then I'm going to the drinking. But what the drinking used to do, I'm going to use an example like I would say, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate. You get on alcohol, you call certain people who you, in your sober state, have considered yourself to have detached from. You say all of these things, and I'm not saying that some of those things that you're speaking are not true, because not everything you say when you're drunk is true. It was like a drunk mind, well, a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts, whatever. That's not always true. You can lie like a mug when you're drinking too. But what has happened was, like I said, I would drink, you get to reaching out to people who you no longer even need to be associated with. You get to drinking, you black out, you make a fool of yourself, you start doing things that you normally would not do, like I said, in your sober state. Even down to lowering yourself to, you know what, I could do that. And I said this in another video, but like, you be like, oh yeah, I get drunk, I do it. And I'm pretty sure there's people right now who still say that to this day, or people who like that. They get drunk, you tell them to do something, they about to do anything. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, but that's not something you want to do. So for me, that's something that I knew I had to change. And when I did, my life changed so much. Since that day, the last time I decided to like just the last time I allowed myself to get blackout drunk was that moment, that day. Since then, I've been in a whole nother wave. I've allowed myself to change. I've called in change. I've literally had a thirst, had a like a need, a desire, a desperation for change. And it don't have to be like that for you, right? It doesn't have to be that way. You can just make a conscious decision and make little small steps to get there. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I didn't change other things in my life, but those major things, those constants that keep you in those cycles, keep you going through the same thing because you want to hold on. You got people right now who keep dating the same kind of person just in a different body. The same kind of soul in a different body. And you notice, you've seen the cycle. You you might be the friend, you know, where you keep listening, keep being that listening ear, and you keep trying to be there for your friend, and you tired of being a dead horse. You tired of expressing how you feel. You tired of even just listening to it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I I don't want to hear. I don't really want to hear it because the advice is gonna be the same, or the response is gonna be the same. Listen, after that, woo woo, blah blah blah. You know it's not gonna change, right? So it gets to a point where nobody nobody wants to keep, especially if you already deal with your own stuff and you don't keep allowing stuff to keep being drilled into your life repeatedly, then you're not going to accept that and take that from anybody else, right? To me, that's only natural. Call me a bad friend because I don't want to sit on the phone and listen to you tell me the same story that you continue to tell me. Just now it's with a different person in a different situation, but ultimately it's basically the same thing overall, right? When we ourselves know we're in a cycle. Now, when it comes to that fear that you have within yourself, it can be something as simple as, okay, if I do cut these people off, right? Who am I gonna have around me? I already feel alone. And if I don't have these few people that I have that pretty much are just placeholders and are entertainment and just help me escape from my reality and help me continue to just get further and further and deeper into my problems, what happens when I let those people go? Now I have to take accountability. Now I have to actually work on myself. Now I have to deal with things that I've suppressed, daddy issues, mama issues, um, trauma from siblings, trauma from past relationships, trauma from your own childhood, whether it can be, abuse in multiple different forms. I'm not gonna break them all down, but different forms of abuse. So no matter what it is, and that fear that you have associated with, the need to have people around, and it's not always people using people. Sometimes people use material things. They go and buy all of this designer, not just designer, but they go out and buy all of these things, right? And I had to see that in myself also, because once it was no longer people, then I would sometimes use materialistic things, right? So I even had to get to a point where I had to commit to detaching, right? So I had to give away things, clothes that I'm not wearing. No, I'm not gonna wear this. Why am I still holding on to this point in my life? Let it go. Shoes, whatever it is, it can be something that you love, but you know that you're not gonna utilize it. Give it away, sell it. You know. So it can be the smallest things that you might not even think of that's linked to your fear of change and you actually moving towards your potential. It can even be also what people might think of you once you make that decision, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't try to. It ain't always gonna be easy to tell people that you've always been able to tell yes, or always been able to bend over backwards for. It might not be easy to tell them no. It might not be easy to stand up in the face of somebody who you feel holds power over your life, right? For people who you in a marriage, you in a relationship where, or a partnership of any kind, any type of bond, even with your parents, you know, you're in this relationship with this individual, with these group of people, whether it's the church, um, you have any other type of membership or any other thing that you are associated with that's judgmental, right? And they don't like change. Um, you get into those type of situations and you allow yourself to worry so much about what they feel, but you keep suppressing how you feel because that moment or these months or even years of them continuously talking down on you, or still harassing you, or still doing whatever it is that they're doing to try to throw darts at you. What you gotta know is there's always gonna be some coming at you. I don't care what position you in, the highest position or the lowest position, you're gonna always have something that's gonna try you. So don't allow not wanting to get the judgment or not wanting to have people taunt you or not wanting to have people disassociate themselves with you because if they disassociate, you don't need to be around them. That goes for even myself. If I disassociate from somebody, no matter how I feel about it, or how I look at it, or how I feel like it's justified, if you look at me and if I hold that much weight in your life to make you feel sad or make you feel bad, in a sense where you don't want certain judgment or you don't want certain, obviously you don't know me if you feel like you're gonna be judged, but if you feel whatever, you know what I mean? If you have those feelings of doubt in yourself from disconnecting with a person, you needed to let them go because they had too much power, too much control over your life. And it can be good for you sometimes, but sometimes even good power is not good, for you in that moment, in that time, in that place in your life, because you needed to detach and find yourself and go through what you needed to go through and work out your own issues and then come back and y'all can maybe meet, right? When you're a better version of yourself, when you're feeling more of who you truly are and who you are truly meant to be. So, you're going to have to, if you would like to, make a change for the better. And you know that the people that's around you are not aligning with your consciousness for one. You already know that you really shouldn't even never been hanging around these people. One. Two, you already know the kind of people that you hanging with doing stuff that you don't even really like to do. Three, you already know you hanging with people who pressuring you to get into certain activities and who talking down on you because you don't want to move how they move. Get them up out of there. Get them up out of there. Let them go. I promise you. I promise you that change is gonna be better. Even if you don't have nobody, you don't have nobody else that you can kick it with, you can hang with for the next 4 years. Next 4 years after you leave them people, for the next 4 years, you won't have nobody else but you, your family, or whoever your close people is who you know really support you. If that's all you have, that's all you need. Having a lot of people around don't equal success. Having a lot of people around don't equal happiness. So detach from people. A lot of times it's the people around you. And the reason why it's the people that do more damage is because they put off more energy than any materialistic thing, unless it's drugs or alcohol, right? Other than that, man, people put off the most energy, right? And once you can let people go, people that you have known all of your life, I'm talking about family, like I said, friends, business partners, a job even, and you holding on to what was. It's no longer serving you. Stop holding on to what was. Don't be scared of what's gonna come after. All you need to do, see the problem, make a plan to prepare for your exit. Okay? See the problem, prepare, make a plan for your exit. You do that, you'll be good. You'll be good. The people who need to come around will come around. Let me tell you, I let go of people and I still don't have new people around me. I still don't have new people around me. That was what 20 the end of 2019. I still don't have who else? Who do you see? No, but I still don't have new people around, fresh people who I've just met and created a bond with. I still don't have those people around. But I know that once it's meant for me to connect with a new group of people, and I know that this time around is going to be some people I need to connect with, whether they're just here to be here for a season, be here for a reason, or be here for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I'm open to that change though. I know that people have to learn a lesson, people have to grow, and people have to go. We all gotta go at some point in time, in some way, form, or fashion. Whether in this lifetime, go on to a new endeavor, whether go as in gotta exit this earth in a sense. So holding on to things is the problem. Working through the reason why you're holding on, which is what's causing that fear, will help you out a lot. Once you start seeing that, recognizing the problem, you start making a plan. Okay, now I'm gonna stop hanging around with these people. I want to start watching more, even if I don't meet these people in person. I want to start seeking out people who I can watch on YouTube. Here you go. People I can watch on Instagram who's speaking this. You don't always have to know their life and what's perfect in their life. And that's another thing. People try to look at other people's lives and see, are they really living a perfect life? Are this is that? Da, da, da. It's not about that. Hear what's for you and use what you need to use for you so you can get to the next level. Because if they are spewing information but they're not growing, then that's their problem. But you was able to take what they share with you in that moment for you to further your life. So at some point in time, it obviously had to be some reason why they were there in that moment for their lives as well as your lives. So take what you can take from every moment, every situation, and move forward. It's about forward moving. Move forward. Sit. Move forward. But we have to definitely, definitely get to understanding why we are here, right? And if you don't change, you're gonna be stuck in the same cycles, same cycles, same cycles. You're gonna keep dating the same person, different outer shell. It's the same type of spirit. Just keep hopping from body to body and coming to you. Because most times, if you keep dealing with the same spirit and it's draining you, most times it's either a lost soul or empty shell, right? Ready to be taken over to come and ruin your life, right? Because they don't see any growth within their own within themselves. Because people who see growth within themselves are going to be able to provide information and provide some sort of level up or high level information for you, you know? If I'm working on myself, you working on yourself, I guarantee you it's something we can connect on. It's something we can connect on and help each other grow. Whether it's helping each other just recognize something we already know. Because we're loaded with a lot of information, but we don't always remember all of that information when it's time for it to be used. So sometimes we may have learned something, but we need somebody else to come over here and remind us of that thing, that tool we can use to move forward. That's why it's always that thing of being at the right place at the right time. If you truly believe that, because you have to believe in yourself in order to knock out that fear anyway, right? Once you know that, once you can do that, once you can keep moving forward, you're gonna be all right. You'll be all right. but you have to want the change. You have to. I'm talking about. I told y'all how I felt. Don't let it get that bad though. Don't allow yourself to get to the point where you black out and wake up in the lake and then you realize that maybe I should stop doing this. Okay? Don't be that person. Don't be that person who have to literally wake up and find out today is the day that they finna finally snatch my house up. Today is finally the day I'm finna have to get up out of here because you know you've been in foreclosure, you know your bills been behind, but you have still been doing things that are not helping your situation. You know, don't be that person. Don't wait until it's too late. I was just saying to myself earlier today because with stuff in my own personal life, and I was like, you know, it's that time that I really truly hone in and make it a permanent part of my life to be proactive and not just reactive, right? Because me as an individual, and I know it's another Capricorn trait, is to wait to the last minute because we thrive in situations where we gotta fight our way through because that's just who we are. But not all the time do we have to allow it to be our reality, you know? And so, yeah, yeah, man, just get on the other side of that fear by just doing the things that you're fearful of doing. That's another thing too. I had to start doing things that made me fearful. I put myself in the middle of that so that I can confront that. And for a while, that's what I did. Like when I first started my journey of consciousness, being consciously conscious, being in alignment with my conscience, being fully receptive to what it is that God was telling me. So once I did that, and like I said, I started knocking people out. Not knocking people out, like, but I started, cutting people off, disappearing completely. Or I went through this thing of where I expressed myself because that was a part of my problem. I expressed to certain people who I felt like would at least deserve that much. Um, and not even just for them, but it was mainly for myself to let them know why I'm detaching, right? And then in some cases, I didn't. I just let it go. And that goes with habits too. You just gotta detach. Sometimes you do gotta sit. You got a problem with alcohol, you got a problem with cocaine, you got a problem with meth, you got a problem with marijuana, you got a problem with whatever that is holding you back and causing your life to tumble. You gotta be honest with yourself and check it at the door. And do what you're most fearful of doing. And keep asking yourself, what does my life look like? How does it feel for me to no longer have these people in my life? For me to no longer have this thing in my life? For me to no longer have this feeling that I have going throughout this lifetime. And if you can keep facing those problems and doing it head on and putting yourself in those situations, for example, if you are addicted to alcohol, camera cut off. But if you don't have one, go buy you a bottle. If you don't already have the bottle in your house, go buy you a bottle of alcohol, meaning alcohol from the liquor store, and get that bottle in your possession. Wait till you by yourself. And also, sometimes, if you like, now, if you are somebody who your addiction is very hung strong, where it got a deep grip in you, remove yourself from those environments, right? Seek out as much counsel as you can, do as much research as you can, be around people who have removed themselves from those type of situations, and people also who have never even been in those type of situations. So you know, one, what a functioning individual who has never even touched that look like, and also you know what it looks like for the person that had the same struggles that you have. But if you somebody who not that deep, take whatever it is that's bothering you. I feel like anybody could do this, but not everybody is as strong willed or um, is I'm just gonna say strong minded. So if you can handle this, look at that bottle, look at whatever the substance is, look at the person who's bothering you, stirring up the problem. And even if you don't speak it out loud, if it's an item, you can talk out loud. But look at that item and say, I have control over my own life. And you've brought nothing but these type of things to me. Be honest. Be honest. Hey, yeah, I've had some good times with you, but to be honest with you, I had more bad times with you than I've had good. You've caused me to lose this. You've caused me to lose that. You've caused me to do this. You've caused me to do that. And I don't really want you in my life no better because I don't need you in my life because honestly, you are not bringing anything of value to me. You've hurt me more times than you have been a benefit to me. Pour the alcohol out. Flush the weed down the toilet. Hello? Break up the needles. Hello? If it's a human, remove yourself. You know what I mean? Just remove yourself. Write down what you need to write down. Speak out loud when you to yourself the same things, like I just said, and break those strongholds. That's the first step. Being honest about how it has overcome you. Say how you feel. Say what you want from detaching from it. Let it know that you are detaching from it, and be on the lookout for things to try to keep bringing you back in. But you got to be focused enough to see when it's happening so you can go in another direction. Carmen's about to die, but also I'm pretty much at the end of what I needed to say. You got it. You understand. You strong. You are. I'm telling you. Y'all be easy. Y'all be light. And I'm going to catch you in the